Welcome to Beyond the Buzzer, where real hoop stories get the spotlight. I'm your host, Brian Wethers, former Division I athlete and overseas pro. Each week, I sit down with players, coaches, and grinders who lived the game but didn't always reach the dream. From college standouts to overseas warriors, this is where we unpack the truth. Behind the journey, the highs, the lows, the heartbreak, and life after the final buzzer.
He's on his way, he's about to get paid, he's on his way to Hollywood. He's on his way, he's about to get paid, he's on his way to Hollywood. Show him the way, he's about to get paid.
Hey fans, welcome back to KF and JF Podcast. This is your host, Brian Wethers, and this is Beyond the Buzzer. Today we have a special guest. I had the pleasure of coaching this young man, but before we get into it, let's see if you can remember this Arizona alum. We are back with Mr. Lorenzo Burns, football player, California native, now playing professional ball. Lorenzo, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No doubt. Before we rewind and get into the journey, let's talk about kind of where you're at right now. So you're playing professional ball. Tell us where and how that's going.
You know, I'm up in Canada right now. For everybody that doesn't know, it's the CFL, the Canadian Football League. It doesn't really venture too much out here, but you can find it on CFLplus.com, you know, take a look at that. But, you know, I've been all over the place, you know, from the NFL to the UFL, the spring league that's going on right now that's getting some upward trend. But, you know, I decided to take a leap of faith and go up north and play ball up there. I went up there about last year, September, you know, and then was there for a couple of games, couple of months. And then this past year was there the whole season, long 6 months. Got out there at the right time. You know, it's cold up there right now, so I had to get up out of there. But, you know, had a decent season, you know, went to the Grey Cup. It's like the Super Bowl up there for the CFL. So currently playing for the Montreal Alouettes, trying to do my thing up there, man.
I love it. Yeah, there's no weather like Cali weather, so, you know, welcome back home.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, let's rewind a little bit, man. Let's go through your journey because you've had a unique career, upbringing, father of Deshaun Burns, a USC alum, coached a little bit in the NFL. He's now at Linfield Christian. You know, we work together. I'm the athletic director. He's the head football coach there. So talk to me about growing up, you know, with the father that had, you know, a really good career, you know, understands the game. What was that like growing up, you know, just playing football, and, you know, what was your dream and passion like?
Right. So, you know, growing up with Pops, actually, my whole household, you know, because as you know, I got a brother and sister.
Yep.
And my mother, who was pretty athletic herself, it was a competitive household growing up. It always was. Now, my sister came later on down the road, but my brother and I, we were always getting into it when we were younger. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, my brother, his personality, he got a fiery personality.
Yeah.
So growing up, Pops would put on like a highlight tape, you know what I'm saying, of like the high school ball he was coaching and things like that. We try to mimic the moves. My brother and I had them little plastic helmets on. We be downstairs, you know, going at it, hitting each other. But just being around him the whole time, my mom's always pushing us. It made us want to continue in sports, you know. And then seeing some of the things that Pops was going through as far as like the success he was having and the stories he would tell us about him playing ball at USC, which at the time was real prestigious for football. You know, my brother and I had that dream of like, you know, we want to go play like Pops, you know, in college, you know, be in the guys Division I, you know, big stadiums, big talent, big games. And as we got older, Pops was always hard on us on the field, you know. He's very passionate about what he does because, you know, he had an injury in college, you know, so it kind of stopped him short a little bit of his career. So he poured into us in that aspect, you know. And then as we got older, I would say, you know, throughout like middle school and things like that, he really emphasized the importance of work ethic, you know, because a lot of kids got talent, but it's that work ethic that's gonna take you to that next level. So it'd be days where, like a cool little Sunday morning, we chilling, and hey, wake up, we going to the field. We over there sweating, after church and everything like that. So it's always being around him and him pushing us and him telling us like, look, son, if y'all really want this is what it takes, and just always grinding, things like that. We got to high school. It was the same thing. If anything, it amplified, because now it's like do or die. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get to where you want to go, it's right here. You just got to take a hold of it. You know what I'm saying? So he would push us to like camps, working out one-on-one in the backyard, go get some work. We're going to lift some weights. I'm going to teach you the game a little bit. We're going to have a discussion about football. We're going to have a discussion about life outside of football so that you know what's going to come your way. And when you have the success that you work for or that you might come your way or that you might have earned, you know how to deal with that success when it comes along. It's not like a surprise. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate him, moms, we was always getting beat up in the house, not not anything crazy, but it was always rough.
Getting pushed.
All the homies would come over. We always rough. Yeah. We always rough. So, I really did enjoy it growing up with him, man. He's a great dude. Yeah.
So in terms of when did it become your passion, right? Because he's you got a mom and dad that are kind of pushing you towards athletics. Was there a point where it became what you wanted to do versus like what we were doing, and like how did that manifest where it became your passion to train and it wasn't like a mandated thing, or dad's not waking me up and you started doing things on your own? Did you have kind of like that moment, or was it always kind of like driven by pops?
You know what? To be honest with you, it's always been instilled in me. I don't know what it was, but it's just, I think at a young age, just because when the first time I really got around ball was that I can remember was when he was with the Redskins.
Okay.
And just being around those superstars at that time, it made me be like, at a young age, I couldn't really understand what I was truly feeling. Yeah. But it made me be like, I want to be here, Yeah. So I always had that drive when I was younger to be like, I want to be the best to do it, even if I'm not. I want to strive to be the best, So, yeah, Pops did push us, but I always had that, like, internal fire that kept me going, And as I got older, being around, because we didn't move so many different places. Being a coach's son, coach's kids, it's like being a military family. Yeah. You always moving left and right. So, like, we grew up in Florida for a little bit, spent some time in Virginia, spent majority of my life, like 6 years in Texas, 4 in Houston, 2 in El Paso, then moved back out here to SoCal. So I've seen a whole bunch of talent, play with, especially in Houston, play with kids that went off to University of Texas and Texas Tech and LSU and in the NFL right now, and I saw talent at a young age and competitiveness play some kids, they ain't got nothing to their name, from the hoods. You saw that grit, what I'm saying? Came out here, same thing. Yeah. Some of my homies playing in the league right now. But when it really kicked in was, I think it was my 8th grade year when we actually came over here to Linfield.
And you guys are moving from where?
We had just moved from, the year before that, we had moved from El Paso, Texas.
Texas,
Yeah, and then Little Mexico. If y'all ain't never been, it's like Little Mexico over there. We moved out here to SoCal, Moreno Valley. So we were living in Moreno Valley, Moval, for a little bit. I was playing Pop Warner football out there. And then, which at the time, a lot of those kids went to Centennial. So it was a very talented football team. And then from there, my dad ended up getting a job over here because he was coaching up in the UFL that year in 7th grade. So 8th grade, he got the job over here. And we were making a transition from Moval to Temecula for like 3 years. Some nights we stay at Linfield, that little chapel. I know y'all don't know, there's like a little building at Linfield. It is now like the entertainment room or something. It's on the hill. They used to have like a little chapel, like couches and stuff like that in there. So some nights it get too late, we just sleep in there.
Wow.
Yeah, stay the night, brush our teeth, wake up, go to school right there. Dang. But when we came over here that year, and my dad was coaching over here, he was like, son, like, it's right around the corner. Like, this journey about to take off, what you want to do. And when we got here, playing ball here and then watching him, I was like, man, like, I really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So like right then and there, that year, I was kicking off. Like I'm working out 24/7, trying to get right, lifting weights down there in the weight room by myself or with pops, squatting, trying to lift like the kids in high school. You know, be stronger than them. I go work out with the high schoolers, and every time I jumped on the field, I'm trying to embarrass somebody. You know, like that's what you got to do.
And I don't think you probably do now, but you know, having coached you and watched you, I don't think you understand like that mentality is like the separator. Okay, when you get someone that's like independently driven, they want to do it on their own, right? You don't have to tell them. And I want to say a lot of kids that I've known that have had that experience of traveling, or especially young, where you're moving from, you know, state to city, constantly resetting, constantly having to adjust, constantly having to like fight to either prove yourself or fit in. It builds a grit without, you know, you really even knowing, you know what I mean? And you're almost in survival mode. So everywhere you go, you have kind of a chip and something to prove because you know, you've been to so many fresh environments. And I remember feeling like that later on when I was overseas, but to have, I think athletes that have that at a young age, I've learned that is a separating factor in what makes them special, right? That type of grit. So if you could talk to me a little bit about that, because you went to University of Arizona, when you were getting recruited, what was that time period like? You know what I mean? What was that first letter like, that first kind of like taste of, I'm about to play at the next level, or I'm being recognized for the work I'm putting in?
I mean, as you know with yourself, like that first letter feels great. You know, like you see it, you're like, oh man, this is like a reality. I would say the first time the recruiting really kicked off was, what was it? That was the year after I broke my ankle. I had a real bad injury my sophomore year of high school. Like broke my ankle. And actually, okay, you saw me that year. I was playing with an ankle brace and all that, but broke my ankle. I think that spring, it was like a little camp. And it wasn't a letter. It was an offer that kind of kicked it off.
Wow.
It was an offer from like Weber State. It was like my first one, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I appreciate that. But then when it really started hitting is that I think that next year, after my junior year, I started going to camps. And then that's when the letters started like just flowing in. And then the offers, because I was working. My brother and I, we were working. Like we was going to camps, working out 24/7, you know, getting calls from coaches. Coaches was coming through in the spring. And like I remember like it was yesterday, was this one from, was in Nebraska. Nebraska came in. I was like, oh shoot, like this is like for real. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I remember I have a picture on my phone. Took a picture one day. He was like a surplus of letters. And I was like, man, like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the offers started coming in after that. But I will say, like, every offer that I had to get or that I got, I had to go get. Because, you know, the way the world is like, they're going to take what their perspective is and turn it into a reality, you know. And Linfield, at the time, we weren't playing, like, top-notch schools, you know, like, great talent, you know what I'm saying? And they would come up to me when they would have conversations. They were real. They were like, you know, we want to see you go against more talent, so come to camp. You know, we love your film, but come to camp. And I said, okay, cool. That's what y'all want, I'm going to go do that. So every time I popped up somewhere, that's what I did, you know, and that's how it went down, man.
Man, I'm loving it. We got to take a quick break for our audience, and then we'll be right back. Please tune in to the show as we get back. Make sure that you like the button, you leave a comment. Please give us some feedback, and we'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back to Beyond the Buzzer. We're here with Lorenzo Burns, and we were just getting into college career. So you're at Arizona. Was there anything that led to that? You know, I know that's a prestigious school, and you know, you're going through all the offers you're getting. what was the final, decision to attend Arizona? And was there influence behind that? And do you feel like, you made the right decision? And just talk about like your experience.
Right. It was a lot that went into it. Choosing a school is a big decision. And for all those kids out there that's choosing a school, do not choose a school based on the hype behind the program. I will say that. A lot of kids nowadays, they choosing schools because it's Alabama. And you go into Alabama and you playing in front of, I don't know how many seats, like 110. You get the gear. Oh, like, are you automatically guaranteed to go? No, don't do that. You got to go to a school where it fits for you. Like, it makes sense for you. Because a lot of kids, we on the West Coast, a lot of prestigious schools, at least in football, are in the South. That's a long way away from home. A whole different lifestyle. Because you dealing with hurricanes, humidity, and mosquitoes. Well, here we got a cool 70-degree, wind and all of that, beach and all of that. So, but for me, coming out, I knew a couple people that went there already,
okay,
which helped.
Yeah.
Somebody named Rygier Wilkins had went there just to attend school, so I already knew about him. But I think one of the biggest things that helped is that there's a guy named my best friend to this day, my homie, JJ Taylor, who went to Centennial. And y'all got time to look him up. Cold, about 5'6", but ridiculous athlete. Played in the league. Just got done with the Texans last year. He went to Centennial. Him and I played Pop Warner football together in 7th grade. So I've been knowing him for a while. I found out he had an offer to Arizona. He committed. So I said, okay, cool. That's what's up. So I'm like, you know what, Jay? I'm about to go take this visit. Let's take this visit together. So we get ready to go take this visit. But before that, I'm talking to the coaches, and on top of the point of what I said earlier, make sure you have a good relationship with these coaches and you figure out who they really are, and if they fit how you are as a player and as a person, because that's really going to be your second family when you decide to make that commitment, because that's your life now. You up there, you're under their hand, So I like what they were talking about. They were kind of hard edge, underdog, you know what I'm saying? Like, you going to come over here and work, earn your spot, we smash mouth, want to play ball, but we're going to take care of you. So I went up there with JJ after our CIF game, which we lost, which still hurts till this day. So I went up there, bum knee, chilling with him. And you know what? Tucson is a great place. There ain't a lot out there, but it's a great place. Especially when you playing ball and you going to school there, you in that area, it's a great place.
It's a nice little niche, because that was a road trip for once every 4 years, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a small little town, but they love their school.
Yeah, they do.
They love them some Arizona.
Yeah. So we up there, we on a visit. They take us to some parties here and there, and I was like, this is cool. That's whatever. What really got me is that when I sat down and had a conversation with the coaches there, they really showed me, like, look, we want you here, like that, and that's important, because a lot of coaches can lie. They're very good with their words. I'm not saying all of them, but this is just how the business is. Recruiting, they get paid to bring in a certain type of star in the building. So I was a 3-star coming out, but I really felt like they were genuine with who they were being with me. And that was important. They weren't lying to me. They were keeping it straight. It was like, look, Lorenzo, like, you're talented. We're gonna bring you in. You're not guaranteed anything. You need to earn it.
Yeah.
But we believe you can get what you want.
Yeah.
So come in, earn it. We're gonna take care of you, and let's see what happens from there. And I said, okay.
I think you made up a great point of just choose a school that's right for you. I think a lot of kids get caught up in, like you say, the hype. And I know that was like that for basketball. You want to go to prestigious schools, you can. The UCLAs, the Kansas, the North Carolinas. But like you said, what most kids don't realize is you're one of about 30 to 40 kids that they're recruiting, okay? And you might not have been, the top 5, right? You might have been number 10. And now you're in a situation where they'll take you, but, you could have gone where you were number 1 somewhere else and have that, different experience. Right. So now I want to talk about, most of my guests don't get to taste the big show, right? The NFL, the NBA, the major leagues. So you were drafted. I want to talk about, like, having the opportunity to play, what that was like, the politics behind it, and what it was like reaching the pinnacle of your sport.
Yeah, coming out, everybody's dream is like, I want to go to the league, right? Whether you playing basketball, baseball, football, Like, you want to go to the league, right? And that reality started kicking in my junior year. I think it was like my red shirt. Was it my red shirt sophomore year? No, my red shirt junior year. Like, humbly speaking, I had a good season, right? Gave up 1 touchdown all year. Every other year, I was either leading up in the Pac-12 in PBUs or picks. And my junior year, like, I was up there in PBUs and picks, you know? So I was doing my thing, and we were losing, so that didn't help, but I was getting some notoriety. And then I talked to my coach, and I had just got a East-West Shrine game invite. So it's like an all-star invite type of thing. So I was like, man, I'm about to come out. He said, wait 1 more year. So I waited 1 more year, did the whole thing, went through COVID, did that. And then when I came out, COVID had hit, you know. So I had an invite to go to the combine that year. So, but we didn't have it because of COVID, right? So now it's just based off, you know, your pro day number. So I had my pro day, did decent, could have did better. And then after that, was waiting around for the draft process. And I will say this, you know, everybody has a different journey when you going through this, you know. Everybody doesn't start the same. You know, you might start back here, or you might start even, or you might start ahead of some people. But at the end of the day, so you're going to meet up somewhere at one point in time. You're going to catch up at some point in time, you know. And I came out, was undrafted, went to the Cardinals.
Okay.
They picked me up. So when you're undrafted, for everybody that doesn't really know, you kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit, because the way they set it up in the NFL, the guys that they draft, they get in early, they get the playbook early, you know, they walk around the facility early, you know, the undrafted guys, we come in a little late, you know, and the day we get the playbook, we got practice.
You're supposed to know it.
Yeah, we got practice that day, and the playbook is 40 pages long, you know what I'm saying? And it might be 10 pages of one coverage, you know, so we're behind the 8 ball, you know, so we got to get in there and grind. So I already had that mindset, like, I'm to it, you know, let's get to it. So I get to AZ, do the whole undrafted thing with them, and then I go through mini camp. And I had my days where, you know, it was rough on me. I'm not going to lie. I consider myself pretty resilient and tough. And there's some days where I was messing up, and I had to go look in the mirror and talk to myself, you know, because it's a whole different animal up there. It's a whole different, any professional level. It's a whole different animal. And got sick with COVID around training camp, like 2 weeks before we had to report.
Oh, man.
I got sick. So I tried to play it off. So I go in there, I go into the facility, and I'm in there, and I'm feeling terrible. So at that time, you know, you got to be masked up. You got to have this.
You was in there,
you know,
super
yeah.
spreader.
They in there testing everybody. I'm in there trying to keep it cool. I know I'm gonna get popped, so I'm in there. I get tested. I'll go back to my locker, and I'm just sitting there just waiting for them to call me. Then they call me. Yep, you gotta go back. You gotta go back to the hotel, and I'm like, I had to put on the scene. What?
Yeah.
So I was down for like 2 weeks until I got cleared. Okay, and then the way the NFL works, they always bringing in people, especially during training camp. It's like a revolving door. Like, you either in or you out. You in or you out. And if you in for how long? You know. So I was down for 2 weeks, came back, and we were so full of numbers, you know, that by the time I came back, my coach told me straight up, like, it's going to be hard for you to get reps, you know. You might not be able to do what you need to do, you know. So there was one day, go through your normal routine, scrimmage day, I'm getting ready. I get a call, hey, we need to talk to you, bring your iPad. Go in there, hey, look, like I said, the numbers, you were sick, you missed out, we like you. And the NFL so cutthroat is that I played with a guy named Jace Whitaker at the University of Arizona. And they told me straight up, like, we brought you here to do what Jace does. And that was my teammate.
Yeah.
That's how cutthroat the NFL is.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So brought me in, and they let me go. Then shortly after, I remember I flew back out here and came here on like a Sunday. I get a call from my agent, hey, Jacksonville wants to sign you. You got to go get your shots, though. So I had to drive all the way to Yorba Linda, go get my shots from out here. That's like hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. Get a shot, hop on a plane, catch a red eye, all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. I get there like 8 o'clock in the morning. I get fresh off the plane. I go straight to the facility.
Oh, yeah.
I'm walking around for hours, figuring out, get the playbook, get back to the hotel. There's no sleep. I got to study the playbook. Because the next day, was compete day, and we had Urban Meyer at that time. So he was on some like college, we gonna get it in.
Yeah.
So look at my playbook. Next day, got it cracking. So I was on there. I was there during training camp, made pre-squad. Was there the whole year. Played one active game against New England. And that feeling was amazing. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And after that, you know, things didn't go the way I wanted to go. Didn't get re-signed. Went to the UFL, or the USFL at the time, which is the start of spring league at the time. And at that time, it was like being in junior college. You know, it was walk from the hotel to the stadium, big jerseys all the way down to your knee, you know. So I did that for about 2 years. The second year, went to Cleveland, had another opportunity, and did whatever I could with the opportunity. So I went from playing spring ball to training camp, so back-to-back. Spring ball to training camp, grinding. I'm hurt, doing everything I can. I'm up there with Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, Nick Chubb, like Deshaun Watson, like stars, you know, and just grinding. You couldn't let any of that like get to me. I had to guard Amari Cooper, you know, so, just had to go make plays.
Yeah.
I had to, and I remember this like yesterday. I flew in on a Monday, worked out on a Monday, got signed, had practice Tuesday, Wednesday. We had a game on Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So as soon as I got off that plane, got straight to work. Thursday had to go on ball. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, had to go
Just
ball.
right to it.
So went and played in the game, did good, kept it the whole way through. Had my ups and downs. Went against Philadelphia, had to guard AJ and everybody, and had my ups and downs with that. You know, had a good day, had a bad day. Made P Squad, you know, which was a great feeling because it was like, you know, I got another opportunity.
Yeah, I'm here still.
Yeah,
Right.
so, but the way the NFL works, you know, it's always a revolving door. It stands for not for long, you know. So I got signed to P Squad. I was happy with the opportunity. I knew I was going to make the active roster. It was just too much talent, you know, too much money being put out there.
Sure.
I knew. So I think week one comes by, they fly in another rookie from Kansas City, and this is how the politics go on the next level. And it's the next part of the game where it ain't all Skittles and rainbows, you know.
Yeah.
They fly him in, talented dude, but he's a rookie, so he's cheaper, you know. So
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
like rookie, a guy that they had he was there for 3 years. They cut him, so they didn't have to pay him. He was undrafted, but they cut him, didn't have to pay him, put him on P Squad, and then it's me. So it was like the guy, me, at first, then when they flew the rookie in, it went like that. So I'm at the bottom, right? And I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, showing up early, doing my normal routine.
Yeah.
First week goes by. We play Cincinnati. We had 2 injuries. I'm at the game watching it, and I say to myself, oh, like, this is not good. I'm probably going to get cut. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shortly after, the next day, I called my agent after the game. I was like, hey, I don't know. Let's be on the lookout. I might not be here because of these injuries, right? Next day, I go in, routine, get the call, go up there. They tell me, they all hit you with the same script for the most part. You know, hey, we like you, the same guy we signed yesterday. We expect you to be back. You've done everything we asked you to do. You're a great player. We see you going forward in our organization. Okay, thank you. Shake hands. You know, it's business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never heard from him again. You know, no love lost. Then had a couple workouts with like the 49ers, the Patriots. I forgot who else I had it with. Same thing, you know. Could be the best one there, or the Lions too. That was later actually, but same thing.
Well, talk to me about like that. How do you process that, right? When you're putting everything in it, right, and you're so close, right, and you're in that arena, and to not quite cross over, right, or turn over, or make that squad. What was that like for you, and when was the decision to just, you know what, I'm gonna go make my money abroad, right? You know.
You know, that feeling it's real humbling because, like I said, everybody's dream is to be in the league.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you get so close to something, like it's right here, All you gotta do is reach a little higher, and then it gets pulled away from you because you can't control anything.
Yeah.
It does hurt you in a way. It does take some fire up out of you. And it did at first. And the one that really hurt was Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because I did everything I could. I was making plays. I was feeling confident. I was hurt, you know, and then they pulled it away. I was going to these workouts, catching red eyes, doing the best I could, the best one there, getting kept all day. Then they tell me they don't want me. And it's like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, But I think at the end of the day, after that spring league season, I had to work out with Detroit. Same thing. My knee was hurt. Went up there, worked out. What really kept me going was like God's blessed me.
Yeah.
Right? And God blesses everybody in a certain type of way. You might be very smart. You might be good with your hands. You might be just athletically gifted, you know, and he's given me the ability to do this for a career.
Yes.
Where I can feed myself, you know. And there was something telling me, because I was about to shut it down after the Lions workout. Like I was tired. My body was tired. Like a year and a half of straight football. Like that's hard, you know. That's hard.
No, it's a lot of hitting.
And I was like, you know what? There's something in me that's telling me like, exhaust one more resource. Like there's no way, you're still young. Like there's another opportunity out there. Like it's just a feeling. You know, like you just keep going. Like there's a picture where somebody's digging for diamonds. It's like an Instagram picture, and he's digging for diamonds, and one stopped, and he had like a couple more like
to
go.
Yeah.
You seen it? Yeah. So, and one was just hungry to go get it, and
Yeah.
he was gonna get it. So I was like, yeah, don't let that fire die out. So I just try it one more time.
Yeah.
Go up north.
Similar feeling I had, like, and I think I've told my audiences before, but working out with the Golden State Warriors and being at the end of the workout, getting great feedback, literally, 10 minutes from possibly, getting drafted in the second round by this squad. And I remember having, torn my Achilles at like the high of that moment. And it was just devastating. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe that I had come this far and got so close, and then boom, right? And then you go through all the emotions you talk about. It's out of my control, there's nothing I can do, and then do I want to do this? Yeah. And for me, it was losing my grandmother like a couple days later that just kind of shocked me back into like reality of, you can get back, where you once were, but you're never going to get back somebody you love, right? And it was just the reality of like I lost somebody very special, and here I am sulking about like an injury when you need to be doing everything you can to get back, right? And then just taking that mentality, I was able to, have a 10-year career overseas, win an MVP in Australia. And, so I commend you for just getting continually back on that horse and not quitting on yourself, because there's a lot of guys that do. And like you said, had you have shut it down, right, it wouldn't put you in this spot now to where you're making money and the experience is different. And we go back to that grit I talked about, earlier of just moving around like you knew nothing else but to like keep pushing. Yeah. Okay. So talk to us now about, finishing up your career, because you've been playing overseas. Where do you feel is next up for you, after you kind of put the ball down?
I'm real big into training kids. Like yourself, like when you get close to the game, you might not want to go play the game again because, your body's like, I'm done. Yeah. But helping kids grow, especially ones that really want it, you know what I'm saying? Helping them grow and train them, it feels like it gives you some type of satisfaction, you know? So that's where I'm at, where once I'm done, I want to become like a trainer, have my own gym, and be real genuine with it, like real authentic, you know? Yeah, I don't want to coach or anything like that, because I seen Pops go through it. Yeah. I'm cool, cool. I'm cool with that. I respect him, but I'm cool with that. But I just want to, get back to the youth, the right way. You know what I'm saying? Once
I do want to continue to touch on that, but we got to take one more small break for our audience, and then we'll be right back to finish up with Lorenzo. Welcome back to the show. We are here with Lorenzo Burns, wrapping up. We wanted to really talk about just where you are in your career, winding down, what you want to do next. I know you talked about coaching. What about, and I'm the same way. I'm a coach now. I'm an athletic director. And for me, it was just wanting to stay close to the game. Like I knew I was done playing, but I didn't feel like I was done giving back to the game or just being involved in it. So I've taken on this whole new arena of coaching. And it's a lot different than playing. I remember starting off, and my advice to any young coach is you can't coach this with the same energy that you played with, right? Because when you get fired up, right, and you need to be calm, collect, and then more teaching than just delivering the energy. And when you're playing a sport, you're riled up. You need to be, ready for that moment. When you're the coach, you need to sit back and observe and make sure you're plugging everybody, putting them in the right position, keeping everybody motivated. So having played it, still playing, what is drawing you into coaching?
I would say, actually, you know what? It's funny because I watched my brother coach this past year.
Yeah.
with Pops. And it was kind of cool to see them two work together.
Was.
Yeah. And hearing my brother come back and talk the game with me and us have them conversations, even Pops too, had them conversations okay, how are you telling him to adjust to this? What are you seeing? What is that? And it was just, it was cool to be around that, and I think that just venturing off into that field would be cool for me. I would enjoy that, especially the training aspect of it, just because I feel like I can have more of an impact training one-on-one, so I can take my time more one-on-one than, having a coach for 8, 7 kids.
Yeah, you want to teach your skill set and be very detailed with it. Yeah.
So that's what it really is.
I love that. And that's kind of where I started off. I wasn't sure I really wanted to coach, so I got into the one-on-one training, and I was very detailed as a player. So I liked kind of teaching the nuances of how to score, where your feet are supposed to be, how to sell a move, and how to defend, and take away people's strengths and weaknesses. So it was, you have all these skills that you develop, and now you just want to pour back in because you're not done talking about it, thinking about it. So it's another way of just kind of reliving your career. So before we wind down, I always like to ask my guests, we have a lot of kids, families that watch this show. What advice would you give to the youth, that have that kind of same dream, that same passion, and, going through the journey you had? What would be some nuggets you kind of give to the youth?
A couple of things, you got to stay consistent in whatever you do throughout your journey, because the world isn't fair. That's just the way it is. It's not. Some might be athletically gifted, some might just be smart, some might know how to finesse the game. You got to be consistent in what you do. Be who you are throughout this whole time. Don't chase the goal, don't chase the clout. Don't just be you. If you are a hard worker, grit player, be that. Don't try to be the flashy player. If you flashy, then be flashy. Be flashy consistently. Be humble throughout this journey, because at any point in time you can get too arrogant, and life will humble you quick throughout this journey. No matter injuries, family, not going to the place you want to go, or maybe going to the place you want to go and not playing, or playing at the place you want to play and struggling there, or having a success there and getting to the next level and realizing, oh, you got a lot more work to do. It comes in different waves, so stay humble. And then number 3, I would say, and even if you're not religious or anything like that, find something that brings you peace. For me, it's God. I pray to God. I stay with him throughout tough times, through the good times. I just stay consistent with that. But if it's, you got to meditate, you got to be around family, you got to be around a good select amount of friends, do that, And I'd say lastly, be very wise on who you hang out with as you get older, because they say your friends can show you where your future is, And if you got friends that aren't really doing anything that's going to help you progress in life, that doesn't mean you have to think you're better than them. You just have to have that conversation look, this is where I want to go, and if you don't want to go where I'm going, then, I'm just going to have to distance myself a little bit to get what I need to get, So that's some advice. And lastly, choose your partners wisely, too, because I done seen some, as we all know, you get to that level, whether you're a woman or you're a man, your partner can really affect who, your future, because if you choose the wrong one, it's going to be a long year for you, or a long couple months for you, so.
Or life.
Or life, yeah. So,
man, that's great advice, man. You've been an excellent guest. It's been a pleasure just to watch you grow into the man you are. Okay, and I'm not even shocked having been able to coach you. So I'm just proud, man, and keep up the journey. I appreciate you coming to the show. Man, I've had a good time with this. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Lorenzo Burns sharing his journey. We're just truly thankful. A man of God, humble, great advice for the kids. Again, make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and we'll see you back next week on Beyond the Buzzer. Thank you.